So then, the European elections have seen massive growth and support for what the BBC terms far-right parties across the continent. The so-called far-right have dominated in France, Germany, and Austria, as well as seeing candidates elected in Ireland and Poland. Now, of course, the BBC uses words like far-right to make you think of gas chambers and genocides and so forth, but are these people really far-right, and why are people across Europe voting for them in the first place? Now, I feel a bit mean about picking on this random communist. However, their opinions are pretty much the view of the mainstream. Quote, seeing the far-right rear its head again around Europe, including at home in Ireland, fills many with dread. All we can do is continue the fight against fascism, racism and capitalism. A classless, raceless world is all we can fight for and continue to do so with a passion. This is pretty much the view of the liberal elite which governs most of Europe these days, and what they don't see is this relentless fight for a classless, raceless world, quote-unquote, is exactly why people are voting the way they are across Europe. This push for a supposed classless, raceless world has been incredibly badly thought out. In fact, there is no thinking behind it. Our elites simply move masses of people from one side of the world to the other and then yell at scream at you if you have a problem with it. And quite frankly, it seems to me that people across Europe are sick and tired of being demonized for worrying about the futures of their own countries, simply saying we don't want constant mass immigration, we don't want to be told we're evil for simply being white Europeans, and we don't want all this trans-LGBTQ madness does not make one bad. In fact, these views have been pretty standard throughout time in Europe. It's only in the last couple of decades we've turned into this ultra-woke madness. And the results in Europe have done one thing that many of us cannot believe. They've actually made the European Union seem more appealing now there are so many right-wing, traditionalists and conservative voices in it. However, first of all, remember most of these are going to be Eurosceptic anyway, so it may signal the beginning of the end of the EU. And second to that, expect the liberal machine to kick into gear and try and wrestle back control. The first sign to this is Emmanuel Macron calling a snap election for next month in France after getting absolutely destroyed by Marine Le Pen's National Rally Party. He's obviously doing this so the right don't have time to organise and he can hopefully bring together some sort of coalition to keep the right wing out. Yet it's still my belief that many Europeans don't actually want to vote hard right by nature. They just don't feel they have a choice because they feel they're losing their countries and being demonised if they raise that. So it seems to me then that the strategy from the liberal authoritarians will be to keep importing as many people as possible, as well as forming coalition parties and demonising anybody in the media who's worried about mass immigration in order to secure enough votes to keep the right out forever. However, these results do show that many people across Europe are sick and tired of being demonised for wanting to have their countries under their own control, as well as the endless mass immigration that they're supposed to constantly accept with a smile no matter what terrible things keep happening. Anyway, these are some of my thoughts. Do let me know what you think down below and do consider subscribing to the channel.